Gareth Davis, Barry Jones in the studio with me tonight. Some great views from Barry already, but I really want to take your view on this, Barry. Saul Canelo Alvarez moves to number 6 after his defeat we were just discussing to Dimitri Bivol last weekend in Las Vegas. It's number 6 in the pound-for-pound rankings. It means that Alexander Usyk, holder of 3 of the world title belts, WBA, IBF and WBO, is the number 1. Crawford 2, Terence Crawford rather, Neuer Inui number 3, Errol Spence 4, Juan Estrada 5, Canelo 6, 9 is Josh Taylor. We're going to talk about Josh Taylor at the moment. 7 is Vasyl Lomachenko, 8 is Dimitri Bivol, and 10 is Chocolatito Roman Gonzalez, tío.
I love Gonzalez.
Yeah, I mean, he's special, isn't he?
Yeah, he's something else.
He could have been number 1 when Mayweather was number 1, you know.
If he was a middleweight,
yeah,
he'd just be the richest man on the planet.
He really did have springs in his heels.
He still did now.
He still
good. He got ripped off against Estrada.
4-weight world champion.
But he's been brilliant. I think about pound for pound is when people go crazy about him, I sort of say to him, would Spider-Man beat Superman in a fight? Because that's
exactly.
it ultimately means nothing. Now, the fact that Tyson Fury is not in the list seems weird because it's not about who you beat, it's how you beat them and what you do. But also, I would say, just for devil's advocate, who does he replace? Or whose place does he take?
Has he achieved more than Josh Taylor?
Well, Josh Taylor, I think the run that Josh Taylor had when he unified his title was as good a run as anybody at that time.
Yeah, and his opponents were like
boxing.
154 and 3 losses or something in his last 5
opponents. He picked up 2 belts he picked up a belt by belt. He picked up 2 in the last one obviously, but against Ramirez.
But he also had the luck of the World Boxing Super Series, which you couldn't do at heavyweight because there's too much money involved.
But the heavyweights got a luck because they're 20 stone and they were in millions. You know,
yeah.
I mean, luck is luck. We all get luck, but I mean, but he's still had the opportunity to do it. He still had to win those fights.
So he deserves to be there at 9.
I think so. We're judging him on his last fight when we all thought he got beat. But the fact that he got the result, they have to put him there maybe. I don't know. Roman Gonzalez, does he still stay in there? Because he lost against Estrada, then he beat, what's his name?
Rungvisai.
Yeah, but no, he beat...
And Donaire. And I can't even remember now. Where I'm losing myself?
Tell me and you both, mate. So he gets a win, he gets back in there. That's the thing. And Lomachenko hasn't boxed for such a long time. Where do you put him? No, does he still go back in there? Because his comeback win after the Lopez fight wasn't a real stellar win. But you can't put him out because of his longevity and what he's done so far in his career. Estrada beat Gonzalez, of course, and he's been maybe a 3-world. He might be a 4-weight with at least 3-weight world champion. So he has to stay there. Errol Spence is a tricky one. Because
it was Julio Cesar Martinez we were thinking about.
Martinez, yes.
Yeah, sorry, yeah.
The one that
who didn't make weight.
The one that I said Sonny Edwards will stand on his head, and people throw stones at me for saying that.
Do you really think that?
Yes,
okay,
I do.
Now we are digressing.
I do. But, and then he would be in there. So Fury should be in there, but who does he replace? That's the problem.
It's a difficult one.
And that's why I say who wins a fight other Superman and Spider-Man. It means nothing in the scheme of it. So sorry to ruin your section there, Gareth.
No, you haven't ruined it at all.
What it is. But Josh Taylor. Ooh.
Look, 12 months, for the last 12 months, I'm going to answer some of these calls here for a minute on the pound-for-pound stuff. Oh, no, they're not on them. We're going to take your calls at 11:30 in about 20 minutes, actually. We're going to answer all the tweets that are coming in tonight. It's very busy on that front. I want to talk to you about this for a moment, Barry. Josh Taylor again. The WBA put out a tweet earlier today, the World Boxing Association Championships Committee, in accordance with the organisation's rules, has decided that the super lightweight title, or light welterweight as we call it, which was held by the Scottish Josh Taylor, is vacant. And then talkSPORT saying Josh Taylor been stripped of his WBA super lightweight title as he's not going to face his ordered mandatory next in challenger Alberto Puello. That's the reason, isn't it? And then they do get fractured eventually, don't they? The belts.
They do, and rightly so, because people are working their way up the rankings, whether it's on credit or merit, I should say, or what. But still, they get to the number 1 slot, and then you have to wait forever. No, if someone owns all the titles, you might be waiting 2 years, and then by those 2 years, you're shot.
Dillian White.
The whole reason
Dillian White in the WBC title.
The whole reason why we're in this mess of having 4 titles, because when there was only one champion, people were having to wait so long, they wouldn't get the opportunity to get a fight because they weren't marketable. So it's not get too carried away with that. But I got a feeling that if Josh Taylor would have beat Catterall convincingly, this wouldn't have been an issue.
Maybe, but Josh Taylor's come and corrected that, and he went, FYI, I vacated the belt. Sick. I want stripped. I wasn't stripped, he's saying there, obviously. So, you know, he's saying he wasn't stripped of the belt. The thing is, you cannot hold on to all those belts forever.
It's impossible. The fact that the fact to win them all is amazing. But to hold on to them, it's impossible.
Do you know,
So I got to say, Gareth, that's the start, though. That's the start of that's it. Though they're all fragmented.
Yeah,
he walks away with one belt.
It's funny, you know, when I spoke to Kell Brook a week ago, the one fight I did fancy seeing him in wasn't Conor Benn, but it was Josh Taylor stepping up to welterweight. I'd have really liked that fight.
That's another interesting fact. Now he's saying I'm not stepping up, and he's talking about the Catterall rematch. Where Richie, the whole reason for his below par performance in his eyes was the fact that it's been a struggle to make the weight, and I think that's been clear. It's been a struggle for him to make the weight. He's massive for the weight. But now he's saying he can make the weight again. It's a confusing time. And I got to say, Josh Taylor's my favourite British fighter, by the way. Though I thought he got clearly beat against Jack Catterall, who boxed out of his skin. But you know,
Catterall was brilliant that night. Actually,
he was.
He got his tactics right. Didn't he
did everything right, you know. And it's no slight on Taylor. You know, you have to see who won the fight on the night, and everyone.
Taylor's timing was badly off that night, wasn't it?
I think it's a whole case of no. I say this all the time about. Getting a fight, trying to get a fighter better, and I think Ben Davis is trying to make
his trainer,
his trainer Ben Davis is trying to make Josh Taylor box a little bit more, but Josh Taylor is a busy fighter. He throws lots of punches and he's aggressive behind good technique.
Yeah,
the fact that
he can take a punch.
Yeah,
so
the fact
he knows,
that he got him sitting back a little bit, waiting, trying to box a little bit more.
Yeah,
was never going to work against a slick southpaw like Catterall. Or it might work, but it's extremely. You're making it harder for you to get success. You have to do what you do best, and you take again. I say this all the time. Sometimes trying to make a fighter better all round, you take away their superpower. What's made them so good?
He excels by drawing people into a scrap. Against like the Regis Prograis is the perfect example of that, isn't it? Prograis is such a brilliant fighter.
Prograis. Baranchik, Ryan Martin,
draw them in.
Victor Postel, all the fights all the big fights in his career. Really,
Ramirez when he unified the titles.
He gets hurt, but sometimes when you're going forward and you get hurt, because you have that momentum, because he's so zoned
tunnel visioned.
Thank you. Tunnel vision better than what I could say, Gareth. You should work on radio. The fact that he's so tunnel visioned is why he walks through the shots, because he don't think about it. He doesn't open his brain to think, I'm going to be more tactical here. He's just, I'm going to get you.
Because he does it in fight week with his opponent
he's
as well.
He's nasty, horrible.
He suddenly turns. He's a lovely guy, Josh. I mean, he is the Tartan terror.
Yeah.
He's the Tartan tornado. So, he's a terror.
So again, trying to make him better.
Yeah, he's not a Shaka Stevenson slick.
No, he has tremendous skills. But he has to do it on the front foot. He has to do it being aggressive. And I think that's... No, I'm not saying he would have beat Catterall, because Catterall was superb on the night, but you would have thought that he would have been a favourite for it. But he's still in the pound list, and Tyson Fury's not. That might be the one where you might say they could switch places, possibly. But on paper, Taylor never lost a fight. That's just the truth of it. So you have to keep him in there.